Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann. I am a professional network marketer, an actor, and I'm also an EFT practitioner. And today I'm really delighted because I'm joined by Stephen Hercey. Hi, Stephen.
Good morning. A pleasure to be on your show.
Great to have you. So Stephen is a body transformational mentor, an ergonomic expert, a postural alignment specialist, an author, and an empowerment speaker. And he's also known as Dr. Fitness USA. That's quite a title, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's actually excellent because when people ask me my name, I say I'm Dr. Fitness USA, and it kind of raises their eyebrow. Or sometimes if I'm a guest speaker, I say, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And I got their attention, of course. Of course, it's me. You got to have a little bit of humor because sometimes people show up and are a little bit asleep or distracted.
Absolutely. You've got my attention, that's for sure. So I'm just really curious, Stephen, if you could tell us a little bit about your story. What age were you when you actually became interested in fitness?
I don't know if I can remember that far back. I can just go by visualization of pictures where I was a skinny little runt. I was born in Montreal, Canada. I came from a Jewish family and had sisters I had 5 sisters, at least 4 of them beat me up. And I would look at Charles Atlas comic books and see that he got all the girls. So intuitively, I had a desire to have a more manly body, and I saw having muscles on my body as something positive. And so, I went through the different methods of trying to get my body together. I just start off with springs, where you kind of like expand them, and push-ups and chin-ups and things like that. And then I had like a little weight set, and I would follow Weider diagrams. But the greatest challenge was my father was a worker and he didn't exercise. But my mother thought I was God when I was born among 5 sisters. And I begged her to enroll me in a health club. And of course, when you join a gym or a health club, they hope to God that you leave after 30 days. But I stayed on for years and years and years. I outlasted everybody. And as I went along in life, my body matured. And every year I would show up. And people would say, "Oh, you look so great, don't get any bigger." And then 2 years later, I would get bigger. And they say, "Oh, you look wonderful, don't get any bigger." And so the evolution of Dr. Fitness USA was taking hold at that time.
Wow, I love that story. You actually say, and I'm going to quote you now, "My formulas guaranteed to increase your strength 20% to 50% in 20 minutes. Which provides immediate stress relief and increased vitality. Learn the 5 secrets of how never to do anything uncomfortable when working out. Break through self-imposed limited beliefs and achieve sustainable results in as little as 30 to 40 minutes, 1 to 3 times per week." I mean, honestly, Stephen, who doesn't want to work out, once a week and get great results like that? So it's quite a claim though, isn't it? So tell me, how do you enable your clients to get those kind of results?
Well, a little bit of idea here. It has to do with relationship self-defense. What happens is we both have male and female energy, thinking and feeling. And as time goes on, if you hadn't started when you were young with actually strength training, you have Pilates, yoga, all sorts of methods of being physically fit, but strength training is actually in a separate category. So as time goes on, the strength in the body diminishes. Okay, so when I interview women, their strength is down about 70%. So they're walking around with only 30% strength. So they say, well, I'm strong. Yes, you're intellectually strong, but your body is weak. So what happens is women will do we'll talk about women, they'll do two things. They'll either go up inside their head and park their body there and cut off their body, or they overreact to situations and then they think about it later. So what happens is when they think of strength training, they think of 5 pounds, 10 pounds. They think of movements that are like aerobic type of activities, an extension. Or if they're causing a lot of movement, they get an idea this is strength training. So when they come to see me and I create a prescription is like moving the chest pieces up the chessboard to gain a winning finish as opposed to checkers. So what happens is when a person, so people do yoga, Pilates, all these things, they do personal training, then they have stress comes up in their life, and then they go to therapy, or then they're trying to chiropractor. But where I'm going with that is if your strength is 30% and you can't increase it, then you're going to have all these problems coming up or stress situations. And a lot of times people say, well, I don't have time, I'm not motivated, I can't do it. So when they come to see me, it's very simple. Based on their body, you can look at me. The analogy is as a shoe salesman. You come in and I'm going to look at the arch of your foot. I'm going to take measurements and I'm going to create the perfect shoe for you. So in strength training, or what you see people do, they don't think in terms of ergonomics or being comfortable. They're thinking of no pain, no gain. So what I do is I create an exercise system, has a lot to do with sequencing and feelings and things like that. But in it, I will increase a man or woman's strength 20 or 30% in 20 minutes. So you see, the thing is, once you increase their strength, it's not motivation, it's their actual strength that creates the motivation. You see, we're born weak and then we get stronger and then we die weak and things like that. So you have that, you know, when you get up in the morning, what's the most important thing? If you don't have a body, then you don't have a life, or you don't have a car. So what do people do? They don't think of strength training. They think of, oh, give me the cup of coffee or Starbucks, okay? But that's a stimulant. It's a stimulant that makes you feel stronger because it gets your body in motion, but it's not actually going to a gym and physically lifting a weight. So in my programming, it's the way I formulate the prescription that gives you the strength automatically. And when they go to a gym in mentoring, we teach women how to fit into a machine and adjust it so it's working properly. See, when I go in a gym, I'm not looking for clients. I'm observing the platform of all these various people. There's some miracle things that happen, but a lot of times I stand beside somebody young or old and I ask, well, why do you train that way? It's totally bizarre to me because they don't even know what they're doing. They're just going into a gym and trying to wing it. Like an example would be a woman that's like overweight. And I see her on a machine, she's like super strong. So I ask her, you know, I have to be gentle, okay? Not, because I'm coming up with a solution. So the thing is, I'm seeing that she's like 100 pounds away from her starting weight. So she says, oh, I'm getting back into it. So she doesn't have a recipe. Because if she goes away for 2 or 3 weeks and she had the map, she wouldn't get lost. Why do you have to get into it? You ought to get in the car and get it going. So when I talk to her a little bit, it's just the general mentality of a gym. She's listening, but then all of a sudden She says, oh, my trainer. Oh, your trainer. Oh, who's your trainer? Where is he? Oh, I don't know. He's somewhere in the gym. Where's your program? Oh, I don't know. And then she's doing an exercise that's perfectly suited for her, but she doesn't know how to use it. So here's the vision I have. Pretty soon, she jumps off the machine and she's down on the floor trying to do push-ups. And then she's standing up and jumping up on her feet. It's not derogatory. She's a total nutcase. I'll explain why I'm looking at it. First of all, she's overweight, so her thighs have quite a bit of a little bit of shape and thickness to it. So she wants to separate the muscles. So she's thinking if she jumps up or down, she's going to be muscular. But the thing that she's not looking at, that her upper body is like a woman in her 60s, rounded shoulders, fat waist, short width in the back. She's not. Doesn't have a plan of action to balance out her body like a yoga master. She's winging it. Or the other thing I see is you have personal trainers, but they don't specialize in body transformation. They involve you in working out. And if you are sweating and groaning and hurting, that's good business for them. Okay. And then I have the other types of people that come into a gym and they actually work out, or they're with their boyfriends, and these boyfriends are actually hurting their body because they're trying to get the woman to do the same exercise how they built their body. Understand, if men have ugly muscles on their body, they love it. Okay. Now, if show a woman a picture and she'll say, oh, I don't want to have a body like that. So she's always about looking svelte and feminine. So when you go in a gym or you hire people, they're not looking at it like an international body designer. They're just very short-sighted. So we're looking at, if I may, there's 3 things to be successful. One is mindset. So you hear a lot about that in seminars. Oh, mindset, okay? It's like going to a chiropractor and getting adjusted. The chiropractor tells you, well, I'm going to adjust your body and you're magically going to be healed. No, you have to go build. Once you get the instructions, you need the hammer and you have to go build the house. So the chiropractor is not going to say you need a strength training program and you need to go to a gym or hire a professional person and start strengthening your muscles so they hold your adjustments. See? So there's a whole misconception of what really goes on in a gym. But it's a wonderful opportunity today for people to better themselves. Oh, I don't like a gym. What are you talking about? There's $1 million gyms that are open. They got like Rolls Royces in there. You just don't know anything about it. Well, I do yoga, but I do yeah, but I'm sorry. Did you look at your body? You're 20 years older than you want to be. You got rounded shoulders. Your neck is forward head positioning. You've got a tremendous amount of fat accumulation on the waist. So people don't really understand their options, especially when they get into their 40s or 50s or 60s. They're still using a corded phone. Ignorance. They don't ask questions.
I just noticed as you're talking, Stephen, I'm thinking about my posture and thinking about all the things that you're saying. So in essence, what you do is a completely bespoke service, whether you're dealing with a man or a woman, it's completely an individual program for them.
Yes, absolutely. So we talked about environment. The second thing, the second thing is education of what do you do when you get in that environment. So there's a lot of components to being successful. The main thing that I find is, especially women, ads do is they don't ask any clarifying questions. They don't say, tell me more, or, they don't open up the door of opportunity to me. Now, the interesting thing is if it's about making money or business, they're going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to sit at a seminar for 3 or 4 days without batting an eyelash. And then they're going to go home and try and figure out all the things that they learn, which is impossible to do because that's how seminar leaders make money. You got to buy more. And then you're going to ask them, did you work out today? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, well, do I have time? So let me give you in my own life, which would show you the positive. So I met Batista Gramode 11 or 12 years ago. She was the best flamenco dancer in the world. Okay, so from a man's point of view, that's pretty beautiful and feminine. And I didn't know that she was even an entertainer because her body didn't display that type of vision for me. But if I fast forward, in a conversation with her, she was in financial debt. She couldn't pay the rent. Everything in her, she has so much, her studio burnt down to the ground. Her relationship was so poor that she would tell me the story that she moved into a place that her German Shepherd had to back into the bathroom backwards. So she was a character of a different color, but what she was able to do was to hear the essence of my conversation. She allowed me the opportunity to express to her how she can improve everything she did. And she came in as a student and everything flourished for her. So in my own relationship, because we eventually got married to her, from my point of view, that was a good thing because I had a track record. Did she pay me? Did she follow through? She was the best student I ever had. So the point of the conversation is that I think I'm going somewhere with the conversation. Sometimes I go too far out, but she comes first. So she actually owns Dr. Fitness U. She's a woman entrepreneur. So I'd like to see women support her, which they kind of go south. So the point is that she works this business 12, 15 hours a day. See, I'm male looking, but males have a feminine side. So I like my feminine side. So creativity for a male is being feminine in a silent world. You know, I don't do my program for my thinking side, I do it for my feeling side, which is a silent world. Women might not know that. So what happens is she runs the business, okay? But she enjoys being smart and intellectual. And I've always encouraged her to grow as a person, see? So she's always at it. But I can show her calendar that she works out 17 or 18 times a month in a 15-hour day. Now, I want to tell you, as time goes on and as she works out, the stronger she is. She leg presses 650 pounds. She incline presses 130 pounds. And we've never had an argument when it comes to her body because my programs are magical. But she is absolutely a better person. The way she talks, the way she handles herself, everything, the stronger she is, the better person she is. And I'm not saying she's more gentle. She is not gentle at all. It's me, Stephen Hercey, as a male, because I'm going to be 73 January 1st. I need to go to the gym to handle her because the offshoot of my whole conversation, she's learned to say no, not to herself. She's learned that my feelings don't come first. Her feelings come first.
What a fantastic story. I'm going to touch a little bit, but you know, it's all about you. So I know that you published a book called Revolution in Addiction Recovery. And I'm really curious to know, why did you choose to write a book on that topic?
Well, we really wrote a book on posture for power. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we've been featured in Addiction and Recovery magazine as revolutionary. The reason we took that subject is because when people have stress or post-traumatic stress, their thought process is to teach people in other words, the person that's having problems, you can handle it by medication, but you can also handle it by communication. You can tell somebody be positive, but it's been proven that when somebody does strength training, in 8 weeks they have more progress than about 6 months of therapy alone. The strength training, where is that? Because all you have to do is if you can, so let's say you came in 30%. If you can increase your strength 20%, you're a new person right there and then. You don't have to wait this week, next week, or whatever it is. The feeling is so good that you'll only want more. I've had women, a case that came to see me is somebody that's kind of short, 73 years old, open heart surgery, built like a little bulldog, you can see she's stressed out. She comes to me and she wants the same energy as my dentist who signed up on my program. So, okay. So the thought process is this person is actually a dead duck. Her body is cemented in aging and she's not going anywhere. But if Stephen Hercey creates a recipe, I can help her be successful. So how do you explain in 2 or 3 months a person that has open heart surgery can leg press 350 pounds with no trainer? Now, every time women increase their strength, the only thing that happens is they go, oh, that feels so good. And it's like quiet meditation. They go quiet. It's a phenomenon. One is because they're comfortable, okay? And I don't stand in their headspace like a trainer. Come on, let's do more. I go completely away from it, and I talk very quietly to them. See, because we rehearse the exercise at a very low weight or no weight at all. And then I explain how to position their body and how to be safe and how to feel good. Like, don't drop your chin because it causes oxygen to your brain. Lift it up. Pick up your chest. And when I ask you to do the weight, I want you to be very, very quiet, gentle. There's a phenomenon is because we can visually, we can put a lot of weight on and the woman will say, oh, I can't do that. They go, oh, I can't do that. Now, if I put on little weights that equal the same thing as the heavy weights, then they say, oh, I can do that. So we teach them that if they have inner confidence and they feel safe, they can actually do the weight. And the energy comes from your lower extremities, like your legs. So once you increase the weight there, everything in your life expands.
Wow.
So going back to the question, and so what I tell something interesting I'd like to come across is that women give up a lot of their youth to take care of us men. So the greatest thing that men can do is to give back the youth to the women. And that's where my program comes in. When you send your wife to the gym, she's going to come back 10 or 15 years younger. And she's going to be able to be a Rambo and feel safe and let out all their emotions and stress and feel really good about it because she's not hurting anybody, but she's still benefiting from the exercise. And I always tell men the greatest thing that will ever happen to you is when you see your wife going to the gym.
It just sounds like a win-win for everyone, Stephen.
Now, I also tell women that they need to send their men to the gym too. See, there's a dysfunction in relationships because the reason there's a dysfunction is because I'm giving you an example. When a man meets a woman, for whatever reason, later on as time sets in, the hormones change. So the woman that shows up in a man's life 10, 15, 20 years later is not the same woman. But men live in a memory when they met you. They're kind of like brain dead, believe me, or they're used to be, okay? And what happens is they don't realize that women produce more progesterone. They need more red blood cells that strength training produces. They need to work on their posture. They don't realize that they need to offer the opportunity to women to go to the gym. Now, we have a recent case. A woman's in her 50s, electrifying, kind of like yourself, but, 40 pounds or 50 pounds overweight. And so I look at them. It's interesting, it's like they don't have a lot of money. But look at their cars. They're driving Lexus, Cadillacs, okay, but they don't think of that in terms of their car. Or if they had a toothache, they'd find money, okay? So what happens is you have the husband and you see the woman. The woman's still pretty, but the guy looks like he's got 2 feet in the grave. So what happened? Why she do my program? For some magical reason, she got the opportunity to bring up a baby. She took on the opportunity and the responsibility to look after a baby and bring her up. I don't know, it could be a grandchild. So she got the program because she wanted to live longer and be stronger. And when you look at her after 2 or 3 months, you can't tell it's the same person. This person that's actually would never do anything except walking is going to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I'm not telling her to do that, but that's where they find their life or their freedom. They find healthy people. They find opportunity, but when they have a map, they automatically know what to do when they get into the gym.
Fabulous. Now, I know that you've written a book on female body design. Obviously,
Yes.
It's clear, from the way you were talking that you work with a lot of women. But why didn't you write a book on male body design?
I do have a book on, it's called Muscular Development. Where's my other book? I do have another book. I have several books. Yeah, we don't exclude the men. We're trying to get men to take better care of women.
Love the sound of that.
You know what I mean? Like you might know it, but your forte is strength training. But there's no way that you can visualize it or process it. It sounds intellectually okay, but you'd have no reality because nobody put you in a super pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's a phenomenon. So when I look at a person's body, the thing is, I know right away where their reality is at, so I can create a prescription of exercise that introduces them to that reality.
So how does that work then for someone like me, Stephen, when I'm in the UK, I can't go to a gym in the US. So how does that work? Can you work with someone who is, in a different country?
We work with people all over the world. We have students in Africa, Belgium, France, Italy, United States, and Canada. Everything is done virtually online. So the way that it starts is they just have to show a desire to have a consultation with me. Okay. And then once we actually see each other on Zoom, I can help them to see a way that they can be successful.
Great.
See, so what's interesting is I just had somebody come to see me. They're a little younger, okay? When I say younger, you could go either way. But here's somebody that's like 24 years old. They've got their life ahead of them. Somehow they were working out with a trainer and somehow they got hurt. So now they come to see me. So at, let's say 5'11", they were 170 pounds. Today, they're at 135 pounds. They haven't been in the gym for 3 years. And now they're on some program. So I'm not knocking other people's services, but it's bizarre. It's kind of like the way people train in a gym. So the point of the whole story is, he heard me on a summit And then he corresponded with me. So now it comes time for him to invest something in himself. He says, well, I have debts, I have responsibility. I need to take care of that first. Okay. So here's the thing. He says, when I deep psychologically, I trigger some questions, and the real truth comes in, is he says that I don't think my body is that important in the scheme of things. But he has a vision, but his body is a vehicle. So I said, you know, if you had a toothache, you'd find the money. If a wheel fell off your car, you'd find the money. And then the light bulb went up. He said, well, I do have a savings account. I says, well, there it is. He said, what happens if I gave up going to the chiropractor 2 or 3 times a week for the last 6 months? I could probably afford your program. It's interesting, huh?
And what happened to him, Stephen?
What?
What happened to him?
Well, what happens is when I look at photos, he has what they call forward head positioning, which could never be corrected by just chiropractic alone. So the point is, he signed up on the program and I sent him to the gym. If you heard the attestation, it's short of a miracle. He said it's the first time in 3 years that I could go into a gym and feel so good about myself. And all the technique of visualization I put into action so I could drown out the nauseating music. Now, what's interesting is I researched the gyms so I can tell which would be the most advantageous place to work in. So this gym that he's in was only like 11 minutes from his house. So I tried to warn him, look, you're going to go into a bodybuilding gym and you have, he said, look, I worked with the owner for 6 months and you could see it didn't do it for me, did it? Okay. But now he's on my program and he doesn't have any trainer and he's so anxious to keep on learning and improving.
Wow.
So there's a difference between a nurse and there's a difference between a doctor. So don't tell me you have a trainer and don't tell me you're strength training because you haven't experienced what strength training is. Strength training is wonderful. Gives you back your youth. So it's not negative, but when I look at your body, I think you're a perfect candidate. But what happens is if you look at these are what they call trapezius muscles, and you see how tight they are, because that's what holds up your neck. So when you try to relax, it's probably impossible. See, because the body hasn't got a team of players to make it more stress-free environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not negative. It's not negative. It's all positive.
Yeah. Well, and it's so brilliant to hear your passion and your, the fact that you just, you absolutely love what you do, and clearly you're getting the results. You're getting great results for people, which is fantastic. So obviously you've mentioned that you're already in your 70s, and you're clearly a testament to, you walk your talk. You look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Have you got any myths about aging and fitness that you would really like to dispel?
No, the strength training is the key to youth, but understand that in the body design, we talk about everything. They don't realize it, that they're getting into a lifestyle habit, a lifestyle change. I go real deep. It's called relationship self-defense. What's going on in your life? How are you feeling today? Where are you going? Who's holding you back? The thing that's different about me is instead of trying to go backwards, I already have a solution for the person. See? Or I can create because every time I go to the gym, I'm creating the next level of different applications of exercise that work on pain or relieving pain and things like that. If we will go way back, we won't mention her name. It's a dentist. She's a high-end dentist. So anyways, what happened was I went in to see her and I wanted to promote my book. Okay. was a free consultation. When I looked at her, she was this Asian beauty, certain age in her 50s, you know, very classy. And I look her in the face and I say, well, you know, you ought to be doing my program. She said, what are you talking about? I'm doing the bar method. Okay, we go fast forward. Now she comes, I tell you, well, why don't we, she read the book, this Posture for Power. She liked what it said in there. She made a point, she came in to see me. I said, don't bring your husband. She brings her Asian husband who's fat and out of shape, and she's having to look after him, okay? And I'm in there like 4 or 5 hours. I left him outside with Batista, and he's busy growling, and the door is closed. And I'm having this dialogue conversation. High-powered women are kind of interesting, trying to take control of conversation. So now here's something women ought to know. If you stay in a conversation with a man, we have testosterone. You have estrogen, believe it or not. And after about 7 minutes, you're going to start to get flustered, and it's going to confuse you between right and left side of your brain. So all I have to do is stay in the conversation like a bucking bronco. Okay? It's interesting. Well, we took pictures, and she went away. And her husband said, don't do the program. She's her own person. She did the program. And I have her on my website in 6 years. She's still on the program. It changed everything in her life. A woman that's going into her 60s, she looks 40. The whole world is because now she's going retired. She has opportunity, but she has her body and she still has her good looks.
Did she change her husband?
I think she sent them overseas the last time I heard. It's kind of interesting. It's an amazing story, but she was scheduled for surgery. She canceled all her surgeries for her shoulder. I helped, and she talks about it, that she just did my program and she required no surgery. And it's the best thing that best investment and the best decision she ever made in her life.
Wow, extraordinary. So Stephen, if someone's watching and you know they're over 60, maybe someone's 70, and they haven't exercised for years. Mm-hmm. If they were to do one of your programs, could they experience dramatic results, even if they start in their 70s and they haven't done any exercise for a very long time?
Yeah, they'll get 15 to, yes, is the answer. They'll be 15 to 20 years stronger. You understand that I can adjust the, look at it this way. A younger person likes rock music, okay? An older person might like Frank Sinatra, and some other people who are older like even slow waltzes. If you can adjust the music in the actual program, everybody has the opportunity to change. Even people in their 80s or 90s can benefit from strength training, as long as they know what exercises to do, because trainers in general actually give you exercise that has nothing to do with your body. The exercise you do is impossible to do. So you have to be an ergonomic expert or a person like myself, which is unique, to adjust the program so you feel accomplished. So if you're lifting 5 pounds today and you lift 15 pounds tomorrow, you are physically stronger. You know, it's like advanced acupuncture. You can tell me, if I put you in equipment, you can tell me if you're comfortable. Now, a trainer is not going to ask you that question. The more uncomfortable you are, the more it terrorizes you. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of weight, and I may ask you, can you do a little bit more? And you say, okay, a little bit more. Is that okay? That little bit more is another 30 pounds on the machine. They are physically stronger. Then they can go for their walk. See, they're doing it backwards. They're going for a walk and hoping to be stronger. But if they did just like 10, 15 minutes of exercise, even one exercise, if they knew what to do, they could benefit from it.
Wow. So 2 more questions. So what is the oldest person you've trained?
Late 70s.
Wow.
It's about 78 years old. That's an interesting story too, because this person It's the, I won't name who they are, but they own the World Academy of Health and Intellectual. They're on the, it's a gentleman, and he's in his 78, and he's actually on the web all the time, and he's giving people the spiel, so to speak, of how to look at the stars and your aura and all that. But he's been sitting for years and years and years. Now he's a big, strong guy, but he doesn't know nothing about exercise. And he lives so far out that it would take him an hour to get to a gym. So here's the point of the story. Somewhere, he was interviewing me, somewhere in the conversation, he had an aha moment and he decided, okay, I want to do the program. In 2 years' time, this is part of the person's life. He goes to a gym 3-4 times a week. He drives an hour in the snow. He loves it. And the interesting part about it is, because I have so much patience, this person, even though he's a male, had 2 left feet. You tell him to go right, he goes left. Try to go right. But I waltz with them. And I'm so sure of what I'm doing that they can be successful. I'll change the program 50 times or move the chess piece up the board, and they will be successful. Now, the downfall about it is he's supported by his wife. It's very similar to yourself. She's actually a workout person, and she's a one that could probably benefit more than he can, but he never introduced her to her. And yet she spends time driving him to the gym. That is the most amazing thing. The men are absolutely selfish, and they do not share the opportunity for women. I want to put it out there because the women have lost their voice. They're not saying to their husband, you know, do you love me? They say, oh, of course I love you. Well, I would feel, I will feel supported if you enrolled me in a gym so I can go have fun just like yourself. Hey, listen, the Beverly Hills surgery, they used to have a program on TV called the Beverly Hills Doctors. And the doctor would go out doing martial arts, bodybuilding, strength training, everything that, and he would leave his wife at home. The only time anything ever changes when he gave her a baby, and now she had a baby, but he never invited her to work out or share that opportunity. See, so men are kind of like two-faced, or they think in two terms of being cheap, and they're not under, and they, or they're, you know, so I teach women how to dialogue and how to role play so they get their needs met, and then offer them more.
Fantastic, Stephen. So one last question. When you're no longer on this planet, what would you like to be remembered for?
That I was a really endearing person, and that I was way ahead of my time. And as time goes on, people would follow my teachings, because I have students all over the world actually enrolled as teachers, and that I hope to live a long time, and that I continue having a wonderful relationship with Batista, who I consider the highest level teacher in the world academically about strength training. So I would like women to actually talk with her and correspond with her, and relay the message to other people. And get this, if you're not interested, whether you're a man or a woman, there's somewhere in your life that could benefit. So give them the information. Stop making judgment calls. They don't have money. I won't talk to, you know, be a good role model. Just like if you went to a great hair designer or hairdresser, share the opportunity that I do know somebody in this world that could probably help you. Would you be open to have a conversation, and always follow through?
Brilliant. Stephen Hercey, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so very much.
You're a great host. You didn't get a chance to ask me that many questions, but as you see, I'm very passionate about what I do. I can talk a lot of times about, because I actually live the dream. You know, when you get older, like a male like myself, I'm flabbergasted how many people are injured when they come to the gym. They need a knee replacement, a hip replacement. Oh, amazing, you know. But in time, age, unless your wine doesn't really that improve that much. So there are pains and aches that come up. But the gym is the only place, once I get to the gym, that there is no pain at all. See, because it's a healthy environment. And the great thing is, since I taught Batista, because she just turned 61, she's so full of life and energy that she says, I'm going to train today. I say, well, what are you talking about? Because I need to rest more. Okay. There I am with the training bag like a puppy because I don't like to be left behind. See, then I get to the gym and I get the benefit. So by teaching her to take better care of herself, she's actually the instigator to getting me to the gym. I'm the person that creates the program for her. Like what happens is she'll say, what am I training today? I keep records. So sometimes I'll show her the program and I see she makes a face. Okay, so give me the program. So I change a few exercises and then she looks at it and she says, oh, I love my program. The only thing I did was change the music. See? I didn't tell her you'll work for it. She must enjoy what she's doing.
Yeah.
So that would be the bottom line. You must, if you're under pain and things are uncomfortable or people are yelling or screaming in your face and they're not teaching you how to be your own drummer. Drummer means that you start to learn what feels good to your body, how much you can actually do, that it's very important in the business day to actually physical the training. You can change the name, but if it's not written down, I'm booked for a doctor's appointment tomorrow, or I'm booked for training, and you just pick up your program and leave, it won't get done. You'll always have an excuse. Oh, I didn't have enough time. There's a famous actress that said, you don't think looks are that important? Wait till you get to my age.
Love that. So I'm going to put all your links underneath this video so that people can click through and find out more about you and get in touch. So once again, Stephen, thank you so very much.
Remember, if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then Stephen Hercey and Batista Gamot can help you achieve it.
Love that. Thank
and
you.
Yesterday, there is a video by Bernie Dorman that says yesterday was too late. So pick up the phone and actually book an appointment, and you'll be pleasantly surprised that you'll find me very endearing.
Thank you, Stephen.
Bye.